fuck is that? Oh, nah.
Don't you scratch my window.
Haley, wait. That's a bear. Haley, that's a bear. Haley.
What the hell?
A witness in Belle Isle, Michigan, recorded a strange animal walking along the road and shared it online. And now everyone has an opinion, as if they suddenly work for a wildlife documentary.
What is that? Oh my god.
At first, it resembles a large rodent, but its fur is patchy and disheveled, giving it a distinctly odd, almost creepy appearance. The animal isn't doing anything wild, though, just casually walking around in daylight looking for food. Most people think it's probably a raccoon or possum with mange, since that can make animals look completely unrecognizable, while others are convinced it's some unidentified species hiding out in the woods. So it basically comes down to either a sick animal or people getting a bit too excited over nothing. A tourist in a Romanian zoo entered a restricted area and came across a disturbing creature locked inside a room.
What the fuck is that? Oh, nah.
One that looked oddly human, but deformed and unsettling. When the creature noticed him, it stared directly at him and seemed to want to get closer, but it was kept contained behind metal bars. The footage left people questioning what it really was and why something like that would be kept in a zoo. A hunter was out in the woods on a bright afternoon following what he thought were Bigfoot tracks after noticing some large footprints in the mud. While tracking them, something moving in the bushes ahead caught his attention.
Haley, wait. That's a bear. Haley, that's a bear. Haley.
When he looked closer, he saw a dark, fur-covered bipedal creature partially hiding in the brush, with a big, muscular build and moving quietly like it didn't want to be noticed. Its face stood out the most, looking kind of human, but still clearly animal-like. After the clip surfaced, it basically turned into the usual debate about whether it's real or just another fake sighting. A TikTok group called La Patrona El Patron Marquez shared a pretty unsettling experience from the woods in Oklahoma. They went out one night to pick up their trail cameras and started noticing animal bones scattered around, which already set a creepy tone. But they kept moving deeper into the forest. At one point, they claimed they saw a large, dark figure in the distance and suspected it might be linked to whatever left those bones behind. When they finally checked their camera footage, it started off normal with a deer casually walking past. But then a huge upright figure appeared, with broad shoulders and long arms, moving slowly before the clip suddenly ended without any explanation. Since Oklahoma has a history of Bigfoot sightings, they're left wondering if what they captured could actually be something real, or just something that looks convincing enough to mess with people's heads. A clip shows a strange creature that looks like a frog, but can stand on two legs, with movements similar to a bird as it keeps perking up.
Don't you scratch my window.
At first, it's hard to tell what it is, but after people looked into it, many said it resembles a murloc from the Warcraft series, known for its amphibious body, large mouth, and odd behavior. This led to speculation about whether it could be something real, though others think it's just CGI or edited footage, and there's no clear proof either way. A woman was home alone one night when her dog suddenly started acting strange, standing at the doorway and growling while staring into the hallway like it saw something that wasn't there.
Oh my god.
The dog didn't move forward, just stayed frozen, focused on whatever it sensed, occasionally looking back at her like a warning and letting out low, uneasy growls. She was too scared to check it out, so she just recorded the moment instead. Afterward, it turned into the usual guessing game about whether the dog noticed an actual intruder or just reacted to something humans can't pick up. A hunter was sitting in his stand during a quiet autumn day when the normal wildlife sounds suddenly stopped, replaced by some odd noises nearby, which made him take out his phone and start filming.
I hear my back against the wall, really. I've been hearing some crazy stuff out here. With it, come out here and record. These things are smarter too. They're real smart. Like, Real smart. I'm on the ground. I'm by my tree stand where I had the encounter last time. It was right here behind that trees where he kept it out.
When he moved slightly to get a clearer look, whatever he thought he saw was suddenly gone.
There's something. Whoa, whoa, guys, right there. Right there, guys. What the? And it moved. It moved. Holy. I knew it. I knew this because I had this gut feeling, man, that I was being watched when I come out.
The hunter later said the area is known for similar encounters reported by other hunters, though he never shared the exact location, so for now it's just another mysterious Bigfoot video people can't really verify. The clip shows a strange hybrid-like creature with a fish head, human-like upper body, and a fish tail, making it look unnatural and unsettling.
Wait. That's a bird. Haley, that's a bird. Haley.
It appears lifeless, with one of its hands positioned behind its back, and there isn't enough information to confirm what it actually is. Because of that, people are left wondering whether it's real or just something fabricated. A video recorded in Colorado from a narrow-gauge train shows a large humanoid figure moving through the area, something not usually seen there.
What the absolute fuck is it?
Because of its size and appearance, some people believe it could be Bigfoot, especially since it doesn't look human. Others think it's just a person in a costume, and even joked about it online. The clip sparked debate, but there's no clear conclusion. On November 22nd, 2025, a police dash cam is said to have recorded something strange while driving along a dark, wooded road.
Unit 32 out of service at 4-6.
A massive, hairy figure was seen slowly crossing the road, completely unfazed by the patrol car's headlights, not flinching or trying to run at all, which is already unsettling enough. What makes it more interesting is that this kind of thing isn't a one-off, since over the years, several deputies in places like Washington, Oregon, and Northern California have claimed to spot similar tall, human-like figures covered in dark hair while on night patrol near forests, with descriptions that all sound weirdly consistent. So now, it just raises the same question again. Was this actually footage of something unknown, or just another clip that looks convincing enough to keep the mystery alive? A homeowner recorded footage of glowing eyes staring through his window one night after his dog started barking aggressively at something outside. When he checked, he saw the eyes staring back, and whatever it was just stood there without trying to come in. He suspected it could be a dog man, but there's no clear proof, leaving it as an unsettling and unexplained encounter. This clip shows something really strange at first, the kind that makes your skin crawl, but after a bit, it actually starts to look kind of beautiful.
Oh, how cool. What? I mean, oh my gosh.
Wow. Okay, that's awesome. I can't believe that's a living thing.
Of the body looks different from the ladder.
It's likely a siphonophore, a deep-sea organism related to jellyfish and coral. Even though it looks like a single creature, it's actually made up of a bunch of tiny connected parts working together, each with its own job, like feeding or movement, and none of them can survive on their own. It's basically a floating colony acting as one organism, and once people saw it, the discussion turned into figuring out if that's really what it is or not. A TikTok user named Chayus on Production shared a Bigfoot image, but with a modern twist. They used AI to animate a well-known sighting photo and make it look like it was actually moving. The idea was to recreate what the original witness might have seen in real time, and the result came out surprisingly realistic, almost convincing enough to blur the line between staged and genuine. For some people watching, it made the whole thing feel more immersive, like they were seeing the moment unfold firsthand instead of just looking at a still image. A video shows a massive spider, likely a tarantula, sitting still while someone pokes it with a stick to see if it's alive.
Okay. We're going to this side. You'll be okay with that.
It suddenly moves, confirming it is, but doesn't attack or react aggressively. Its calm behavior made some people think it might be dying or even fake, while others just questioned why anyone would mess with a spider that big. On March 3rd, 2025, an anonymous TikTok user named AC Adventurer shared a short clip from a solo trip out in the Alberta wilderness. In the clip, low, distorted noises echo from the tree line, creating an unsettling atmosphere. Some viewers suggest it could be a moose or cougar call, while others believe it might be something unknown. Whatever made those sounds never appeared, which only adds to the mystery. A group of friends was driving at night when a completely naked man suddenly appeared from the roadside and chased their car. They sped up, but he kept up with them and his eyes seemed to glow. After the video spread, people argued whether it was just a prank, someone under the influence, or something unexplained, but there's no clear answer. On November 24th, 2025, a man named Kyle Campbell was driving along a remote logging road in British Columbia when he spotted something strange and quickly recorded a short clip.
Do you see that? Wait, hold on.
I'm zooming.
Listen.
Huge.
Keep the camera on it. Oh, it's moving. It's going deeper.
I got it.
In the footage, a dark, upright figure appears partially hidden behind branches. He claimed it wasn't a bear, a person, or any animal he could recognize. After capturing the video, he slowly backed away from the area, and no further updates were ever shared to confirm what the figure actually was. A video shows an alien-like figure lying on a bed with a gray head, large eyes, and a slightly open mouth, looking completely lifeless while people poke at it and it doesn't react.
Oh, what is this?
Its realistic appearance made some think it could be real, but others believe it's just a movie prop or a well-made doll. With how advanced effects are now, it's hard to tell what it actually is. A clip shows researchers in the Gulf of Mexico capturing footage of a massive sea creature swimming underwater. After studying it, they claimed it could be a juvenile mosasaurus, a species believed to be extinct for millions of years. The video sparked debate. People questioned whether it was a real discovery or just edited footage. A person walking through a dense forest spotted a tiny, strange creature with a greenish color and a head that looked like a broken piece of a tree, along with thin arms and legs. Its appearance even made it resemble a small humanoid figure, kind of like a miniature Groot. The footage led to questions about what it actually is and whether it's real or something else, but no clear answer came out of it. A man went to stay alone at his cabin deep in the woods, but his quiet trip didn't last long. One morning, he woke up to strange and unsettling sounds outside, which immediately made him cut his stay short.
What is that?
The sound he heard was loud, strange, and hard to describe, kind of like a mix of a howl, growl, and screech. It freaked him out enough that he didn't stick around and left as fast as he could. After he shared the footage, people started throwing out all kinds of ideas, from skinwalkers, dragons, and Bigfoot to more normal explanations like a moose or even a sound being played through a speaker. No clear answer came out of it. A clip shows a triggerfish with very noticeable, thick lips, which is what grabs everyone's attention first. These fish are known for their bright colors and unusual features, and their lips actually help them crush hard prey like sea urchins and crustaceans. Despite how eye-catching they look, they can be territorial and aggressive, especially during breeding season, so it's better to admire them from a distance. On July 10th, 2025, a TikTok user named Swampy Mountain shared some unusual trail camera footage from the hills of West Virginia. The camera was originally set up to catch deer and foxes, but it ended up recording something far less expected. A large, dark, fur-covered figure steps into view, and at one point, it even appears to hit the camera before continuing past it and disappearing back into the woods. Some people think it was just a black bear, while others pointed out features like long, shaggy hair and what looked like upright movement. Whatever actually made contact with that camera was never seen again. A group of campers heard strange noises at night just as they were about to settle in, and instead of ignoring it like sensible people, they went to check it out. While investigating, they spotted a strange creature standing under a tree, something that didn't look fully human or like any known animal. They stayed hidden and recorded it, unsure of what it was or what it could do. The footage left people confused, with no clear explanation of what they actually saw. A man riding a snowmobile near the Minnesota-Ontario border with his brother and a guide came across a long trail of massive footprints in the snow stretching for miles.
My feet.
Not even close.
Up and over. Up and over. Up and over.
There's what it takes a human to get through.
Up and over. Up and over. Up and over. In line. Perfectly in line every step. Across the branch. To balance. Big toe. Here we go. I can't even move through this. I'm going sideways across the branch. This way.
The tracks were deep, unusually large, and lined up in a straight pattern with visible toe marks, not matching any known human or animal. Because of their size and strange formation, they believed it could be evidence of Bigfoot, though others think it could be a natural occurrence or a hoax. A man named Otis Hardesty said a friend of his in Pennsylvania claimed to have spotted Bigfoot and sent over a video in a group chat showing what looked like a tall, upright figure off in the distance. At first, he wasn't sure if it was legit or just someone messing around, but his friend sounded genuinely shaken and fully believed what he saw. Not knowing what to make of it, he ended up posting the clip online, hoping someone could figure out what was actually caught on camera. A woman at home heard strange noises and went to check, expecting something normal, but instead found her dog standing on two legs and opening a door. When the dog noticed her, it quickly shut the door like nothing had happened. The moment left her shocked, and some people became convinced it was a skinwalker, while others questioned if it was real or staged. A man was filming a dense forest with his drone when it captured something unexpected. A huge ape-like creature moving through the trees with long, smooth strides and swinging arms. It didn't seem to notice the drone at all. Because of how it moved, many people thought it could be Bigfoot. The footage looked pretty real to some viewers, but others, like Julius, argued it wasn't genuine. Some suggested it might just be a gorilla, though that didn't make sense since there are no apes in that area. Julius believed it was likely a person in a suit, while others weren't so convinced. An adventurer exploring an abandoned building in the woods captured footage of a strange creature inside, pressing its face against a dirty window. The figure had pale skin and a heavy, unnatural-looking face, staring directly at the person outside. The moment was disturbing enough that the adventurer ran away immediately. After the clip spread, people speculated whether it was something paranormal, an unknown creature, or just something staged, but no clear answer was found. The footage shows a creepy-looking creature, and as the camera gets closer, its face becomes clearer.
What the hell?
It looks almost like an alien, with pale, ashy skin, its mouth slightly open, and its eyes closed. There's no solid info about where or when this was filmed, which only makes it more suspicious. Some people think it could just be an old prop or something from a set, while others believe it might have been recorded in a museum. With so many fake alien clips floating around, it's getting harder to tell what's real and what's staged, and this one sits right in that gray area. A man alone in the Swiss woods at night heard eerie screams that sounded like children crying, which immediately frightened him. Instead of investigating, he chose to go back home. After the footage spread, people speculated whether it was something serious like a real situation, animals making strange noises, or something more mysterious, but nothing was confirmed. A man visiting the Kachina Woman Rock in Arizona made a disturbing discovery, which quickly turned the moment from a normal visit into something unsettling and mysterious.
Thing had kind of been confusing at parts. A minute ago, I saw her take a video of a rock that was chipping, and it shouldn't chip like that. And then Shakira was over here, and she's beating on this stuff, and we realized that this chip's like a plaster, and it's like a hollow sound compared to the...
As he knocked on the Kachina Woman rock, it made a hollow sound, which seemed unusual for sandstone and made him think there might be something hidden inside. Some people took it further and suggested ideas like secret passages or something mysterious beneath it. But a more grounded explanation is that sandstone can sound hollow due to natural cavities formed by geological processes like trapped gas, mineral changes, or erosion, along with its porous structure. So while it sounds strange, it can still be explained naturally. It might look like something straight out of a nightmare, but that monster is actually real. It's called a frilled shark, a strange creature often described as a living fossil because it hasn't changed much over millions of years. It has a long, eel-like body that can grow up to around 2 meters, with a flat head lined with rows of tiny, needle-like teeth made for grabbing prey in the deep ocean. Its most unusual feature is its gills, which look frilly, almost like lace, and give the shark its name. These sharks live far below the surface, usually between 200 and 1,500 meters deep, often near continental edges or underwater canyons where they hunt fish, squid, and other deep-sea animals. That's why they're rarely seen, but when they do show up, they definitely leave an impression. A video circulating online shows something strange in the sky during sunset, where 3 bright celestial objects appear, almost like 3 moons.
Oh my God. I cannot believe I'm getting this on video.
This is confusing because the moon is the only natural satellite of Earth, so seeing 2 extra moons doesn't make sense. The unusual sight grabbed a lot of attention since it looks like it breaks normal expectations. While photographers often explain things like this as lens reflections, the person describing the footage isn't convinced that's the case, leaving the whole thing unexplained. Drivers on a highway were told to pull over as a convoy passed by, and among the vehicles was a truck carrying a large, covered, perfectly round object that looked a lot like a flying saucer.
UFO.
With what seemed like police escorts around it, people quickly jumped to the idea that it could be a UFO. Some thought it might be secret military tech or an experimental aircraft, while others leaned toward it being staged or some kind of prank. In the end, no one really knew what it was, and the mystery just fueled more speculation. A video recorded on a mountain in Indonesia shows a large, furry figure walking on 2 legs across a field near a waterfall. Its size and distance make it clearly visible, leading some to rule out its being a normal ape. Because of this, some believe it could be Bigfoot, while others argue it might still be a person in a costume, even though the harsh conditions would make that unlikely. No clear conclusion was reached. In the paranormal community, a lot of conspiracy theories about artificial intelligence paint it in a negative light. Some people believe it's an evil force trying to take over the world. Others think it's alien technology, and a few even claim it's something supernatural in disguise.
Well, if I were the devil, I'd start by corrupting mainstream religion, turning it into a tool for control, hypocrisy, and division. I'd twist sacred teachings into rules that breed judgment and fear, driving people away from faith and making them question the authenticity of God's message. I divide believers against one another, creating conflict within their own community so they'd focus on fighting each other rather than seeking unity or truth. I'd then create distractions that seem harmless but consume their attention, pulling them away from spiritual growth. I'd promote materialism, convincing them that happiness comes from possessions. I'd encourage a culture of busyness, leaving little time for reflection or connection with the divine. And finally, I'd ensure that doubt and fear overshadow faith and love so they become too disillusioned to ever seek a higher power.
Wow. Despite the different ideas, they all lead to the same fear of AI taking control. A woman was eating her fries and chicken when she noticed one piece that looked really strange.
Cause what is this? Bitch just over here munching away.
It was shaped like a small 4-legged creature with what seemed like a head and tail, making it look a lot like a mouse. Naturally, that freaked people out, especially since there have been cases where actual rodents ended up in food. Still, it could just be a weirdly shaped piece of chicken, even if it looks unsettling enough to make anyone pause mid-bite. A Ring camera captured a really unsettling moment where a man walked up to someone's house with a paper bag over his head, just standing at the door and looking around. He then bent down and placed something on the ground, and right after that, the footage briefly glitched. He left, but later came back, rang the doorbell like nothing was wrong, and walked off again, completely calm. No one knows what he left behind, which led to all kinds of theories, from something harmless to people suggesting ritual or black magic. Realistically though, it was probably just a random, very weird person doing something sketchy, which is honestly unsettling enough without adding supernatural stuff. A father and son in Georgia were out on an adventure when they came across a strange creature that looked like a small version of the Loch Ness Monster. They showed the footage to marine experts, but no one could identify it. Even online, people couldn't agree on what it was, so it remained a mystery with no clear explanation. A doctor named Josh Hellman suggested that certain foods like carrots, beetroot, and pomegranates may help with deworming because they contain compounds that can support the body in dealing with parasites.
These holes on this brain MRI aren't holes, they're parasites. Can you guess what it's from? This is neurocysticercosis, and it's caused from eating undercooked meats. This person ate parasitic eggs hidden in pork that then hatched all over the body, including the brain.
The idea is that regularly taking care of gut health is important, though the claim about parasites crawling into the brain is clearly exaggerated and meant to scare people. While some natural foods can support digestion and overall health, proper medical treatment is usually needed for actual parasite infections. Archaeologists found skeletal remains of a strange creature that left them confused, mainly because of its unusually long back legs, nail-like structures instead of hooves, and sharp teeth. The body is about 1 meter long, but its features don't clearly match any known animal. Because of that, people started debating whether it's a new species, an ancient unknown creature, or just a genetic variation of something familiar. But no solid conclusion has been reached. A calm scene shows a man throwing a rock into the water, creating ripples that reflect beautifully against a stone wall.
Oh.
Oh, what? Oh, bro.
That's
wow.
But the way the ripples move and form patterns makes it look oddly like a portal opening up, which got people joking and speculating about whether it could be some kind of gateway to another realm. While some found the idea intriguing, others quickly shut it down as imagination running wild. And realistically, it's just a cool visual effect that happens when light and water interact in a certain way. Some people decided to explore tunnels and went deep into a cave, where they came across a massive humanoid-looking creature. It walked on 2 legs, had arm-like limbs, and a hunched posture with a rough, possibly fur-covered body. The footage showed something they couldn't identify, which led to speculation about what it could be, but no clear answer. A group of men went into the San Luis Valley after hearing reports of Bigfoot sightings, hoping to see it for themselves. They didn't spot any creature, but they did find a massive footprint in the ground that caught their attention. The size alone made it feel like something unusual could be out there, and it was enough to convince them they might be onto something. Still, without actually seeing the creature, it's just a mysterious print that could have other explanations, even if it looks pretty convincing at first glance. A video from a walk in the woods shows something high up in the trees that appears to be moving but is almost invisible, blending in with the leaves and branches. Because of how well it camouflaged, people couldn't figure out what it was. Some suggested it could be a hidden creature with extreme camouflage, while others thought it might be a person using some kind of cloaking or trick. No clear explanation came out of it. A trail cam owner captured another image a few hours after the first Bigfoot sighting, showing a similar figure deeper in the woods. It raised questions about whether it was the same creature or a different one, with people wondering if more than one might be in the area. The images added to the mystery, but nothing was confirmed. The trail cam owner was likely expecting ordinary wildlife footage, but instead found something deeply upsetting. The image shows a dog with its head stuck inside a container, suggesting it may have been a stray searching for food when things went wrong. Situations like this can quickly become dangerous, especially if the animal is unable to eat or drink properly. The person who set up the camera reportedly tried to locate the dog to help, but had no success. It remains an unsettling moment, with the hope that someone eventually found the animal and was able to free it and give it the care it needed. A trail cam enthusiast placed cameras in the forest and later found footage showing a large figure moving through the woods. Even though he had ignored rumors of Bigfoot before, the image made him believe it could be real since it didn't look like any known animal in the area. The sighting sparked speculation, but nothing was confirmed. A clip recorded in Dubai in 2021 shows a strange scene during a thunderstorm, where flashes of lightning briefly reveal an odd object in the sky. It looks like an upside-down pyramid with a piece missing, and with each lightning flash, that missing part seems to move closer until it reconnects, forming a complete inverted pyramid. Because of how unusual it looks, people started guessing it could be a UFO or something alien. Realistically, though, it's more likely a visual illusion caused by lighting, reflections, or atmospheric effects, especially since storms can create some pretty wild optical tricks. A trail cam image from a wooded area shows a strange creature near a fallen tree with features that look somewhat like a primate. It appears to be walking on two legs, which made people question what it could be, especially since there are no known apes in that area. Because of its size and behavior, some suggested it might be a juvenile Bigfoot, while others weren't convinced. The sighting sparked debate, but nothing was confirmed. A series of trail cam images shows a dark, fur-covered creature first hiding behind a tree, then slowly stepping forward. As it moves, its head and arms become clearer, with its posture and arm movement looking similar to a human walking. By the final image, the full figure is visible, leading many to believe it could be Bigfoot, though others remain skeptical and think it might not be real. A farmer set up a trail camera near his cornfield to keep an eye on possible nighttime damage. But while going through the footage, one image stood out right away. In the middle of the field, a tall figure seemed to be standing among the crops. At first, he assumed it might be something ordinary like a scarecrow or equipment left behind. But to double check, he compared it with a daytime photo taken from the same spot, and the field was empty. With no clear explanation, he shared both images online, leaving others to weigh in. Some people found it pretty unsettling, but there's also a more grounded possibility. A closer look at the night image shows small droplets and light distortions across the frame, suggesting it could have just been moisture on the lens lining up perfectly to create a human-like shape through pareidolia. A trail camera set up in an area known for sightings captured an image of an ape-like creature sitting in the shade, which immediately got people talking. The person who placed the camera was hoping to catch Bigfoot, and to some, this looked convincing enough. Others argued it could just be a large primate or even something misidentified in the shadows. Without clearer evidence, it's one of those cases where believers see proof and everyone else sees something far more ordinary. An image shows a strange, hairy hand with sharp claws that doesn't look human, giving it an unsettling, animal-like appearance. Some people think it could belong to something like Bigfoot or another cryptid, while others believe it might just be a costume or glove. There's no clear proof either way, so it remains uncertain. In Mexico, a farmer reportedly came across something unsettling: a tiny, dried-out humanoid figure curled up in a fetal position. It had small arms and legs, but its skull looked unusually large compared to the rest of its body, which quickly led to all kinds of speculation. Some people believed it might have been a miscarried fetus due to its size and shape, while others went much further, suggesting it could be something extraterrestrial. There were also claims linking it to duende, small mythical beings from local folklore said to live in wild areas and known for their distinct features like oversized heads. Despite all the theories, no clear explanation was ever confirmed, leaving it as just another strange discovery surrounded by more questions than answers. A father and his son were visiting Ainsford Castle for a school history project when something odd turned up later. John Wicks had taken his 12-year-old son, Harry Wicks, to explore the ruins and snap photos to better understand the site. Nothing seemed out of place at the time, but once they got home and looked through the pictures, one stood out. In the background, there appeared to be a dark, human-shaped figure, almost like someone wearing a long black cloak. Neither of them remembered seeing anyone like that while they were there. Curious and probably a little unsettled, John looked into the castle's history and came across local legends about a so-called black monk tied to the site, dating back to around the 12th century. According to the stories, a monk once lived near the grounds and was later said to haunt the area, with visitors over the years claiming to see a robed figure near the ruins. Of course, skeptics point to more grounded explanations like shadows, odd angles, or pareidolia, where the brain fills in familiar shapes. Still, the eerie similarity to the legend was enough to leave him uneasy. There's a capture that isn't from a trail cam, but still raises some interesting questions. Anyone familiar with the outdoors has likely seen trees marked up by animals, usually from scratching or rubbing. But things get more puzzling when those marks appear over 6 feet high, making it hard not to wonder what kind of animal could have reached that level. One tree in particular stands out compared to the others. While animals like moose are known to rub against trees to shed the velvet from their antlers, the height and pattern of the marks can make the size of the animal doing it seem unusually large, leaving room for speculation about what might have caused it. A strange image started making the rounds on cryptid podcasts and online forums, showing what looks like a huge, crouching figure deep in a forest. The shape appears massive, with broad shoulders, long arms, and a heavy, dark build that's hard to ignore. Some people think it might be more than just a well-made costume, while others argue it looks almost too detailed and realistic to be fake. If it were genuine, it could rank among the largest Bigfoot sightings ever caught on camera. The problem is, there's zero background to go with it, no confirmed location, no known photographer, no source, just a single image floating around and raising more questions than answers. A TikTok user named Edukin Training shared a clip from a late-night walk with his dogs. At first, everything seemed completely normal, but then something shifted, and his dogs suddenly started acting differently. Quieto! Within seconds, the dogs became aggressive, barking nonstop and locking their focus on something ahead that their owner couldn't clearly make out. Worried, he pointed the camera in that direction, and that's when things got strange. In the distance, a figure wearing a long white dress could be seen standing completely still. Some people think it was just someone playing a prank, but that explanation doesn't fully convince everyone. Dogs usually recognize people pretty quickly, so the intensity of their reaction makes it feel a bit harder to brush off as something ordinary. A trail cam captured a curious black bear cub, discovering the camera in the forest and messing around with it. It sniffed, scratched, and played with the lens for a bit before eventually losing interest and walking away. It looked cute, though not so great for whoever owned the camera. A trail camera meant to capture normal wildlife instead recorded a tall, roughly 7-foot humanoid figure covered in dark fur. Its face looked like a mix of ape features and a human-like nose, which made it stand out. Some people believe it could be Sasquatch, while others think it's a hoax, especially since the fur looks unusually clean for something living in the wild. There's no clear answer. While watching the northern lights out in rural Sweden, a woman's mother took a photo that at first just looked like a beautiful shot of the sky. But after taking a closer look, something unsettling stood out. Beneath the glowing aurora, a dark, human-shaped figure could be seen in the image. What makes it more disturbing is how isolated the area is. Far from any towns, with no paths, no nearby activity, and no real reason for anyone to be walking around at night. The photo wasn't zoomed either, meaning whatever appeared would have been only a meter or two away, close enough to notice in real life, yet no one saw anything at the time. The image was later shared on Reddit, where people tried to come up with explanations, but nothing was ever confirmed, leaving the whole thing hanging as another unexplained moment caught on camera. A trail camera in Georgia captured an upright figure with dark fur staring straight at the camera, and what stood out was how straight it was standing, more like a human than an ape. Some people believe it could be Bigfoot because of its posture and appearance, while others think it's just a person in a costume. The image sparked debate with no clear conclusion. A trail camera image shows a dark, fur-covered figure moving through the area with an upright, human-like posture that sets it apart from known animals like bears or gorillas. These features match common descriptions of Bigfoot, but since the image lacks clear details, especially of the face, it remains unclear what the creature actually is. The clip comes from Brothers Wild, a UK channel that mixes wild camping with ghost hunts. On April 18th, 2026, they head into Delamere Forest in England, set up camp, and start exploring as night falls. Pretty quickly, the forest goes eerily quiet. No wildlife, barely any background sounds, just this heavy stillness. They fire up a Spirit Talker app with an EMF detector, and almost right away, names start popping up. Zachary, Nellie, Andrea. The EMF readings spike at the same time, which is a big deal for their setup.
Literally go up to red then. Can you do that again? Right to the end. Keep it on red if you can. If you don't mind, please. A little flicker there. Wonderful. Wonderful, yeah, it was wonderful. Go and touch it. Go over to that tree and touch that tree. It's good that that's working. The last couple of times it's not been working, is it? Hasn't moved. Just too bright. Yeah, I'll put it down a bit. Make this go to red. Here. And we got the name Zachary. Zachary. Sounds like an old name, doesn't it? Yeah. It's just been modernised to Zach. Look into that.
As they get ready to leave, the EMF meter jumps again, and suddenly someone reports hearing a voice behind them. They shine their torch into the trees, but see nothing. This marks the first time it's not just the gadgets reacting. Now it seems like the forest itself is responding.
Here in peace. Yeah, it's going red. You picking that up, Rich? Look at that. Yeah, it's literally going red. That is mad. Woo. Say hello, Abigail. Can you knock on one of the trees, make a large sound so we know you're there? I'm going to hold this, Rich. Look at this, going off. It's going mad, mate. It's going mad. Is that you?
Greta.
Greta. This is going up to red now, mate. This is going crazy.
Give us some last names. We can find you.
Yeah, it's a good question.
You'll be on record somewhere.
Wow. Look at that. It is going, it's damp.
Then sounds begin to appear. Footsteps are heard, sharp and unmistakably close, right beside the person. Whether completely accurate or not, the crucial detail is the proximity. Once something feels that near, the sense of control starts to fade.
You?
No,
There's a lot more energy by here. There's something behind me, Rich. I swear to you, there's something here. It's not animals either. It sounds like footsteps, like human footsteps. That's eerie. Really eerie. Is that you? It's going mad. Can you talk into the spirit talker? Oh, what was that?
Gone dead cold.
It's gone really cold all of a sudden, isn't it? Just in this area. I've never seen this dance like this for ages. Marie, hello Marie. There's so many names.
You are surrounded.
Oh my god, that's why then. Wow. I say there's so many names and they say you're surrounded.
I'll move this camera, show yourself.
Yeah.
Shadow.
Show yourself on the camera.
The focus shifts as movement is reported behind, drawing attention to the space itself rather than the equipment. Questions are directed at whatever might be there, moving from collecting responses to trying to confirm a presence. Tension builds in stages: device readings, repeated patterns, then claimed interactions with the environment. Each piece alone could be explained, but together they start to feel deliberate. The unease comes not from any single moment, but from how multiple small signals combine. By the end, nothing is fully confirmed, yet the consistent occurrences make it hard to dismiss, leaving a lingering sense as the forest is left behind. The footage comes from Natalie Outdoors, a solo hiking and wild camping creator documenting quiet, real-time outdoor experiences. On April 15th, 2026, in a rural, foggy woodland in the UK, dense fog reduces visibility and depth perception, immediately shaping the environment. She also notes learning about a serious incident linked to the area, adding a psychological layer before anything even occurs.
So I'm back in my car. I have decided against the creepy New Forest. I'll be honest, I don't have the lady required today.
She pauses to assess, showing clear resistance rather than panic. The fog makes the environment feel closed, muffling sound and removing distance, so everything seems closer than it is. This shifts the space from merely remote to uncomfortable. She decides to return to the car, not because anything happens, but because nothing feels right. There's no clear trigger, just a persistent unease, making continuing no longer the default choice.
It's not coming today. So I was going to get my cook system out and cook my dinner at the back of the car, but I went out there. It's far too windy. I would need to go up into the trees and I just don't have the balls today. So yeah, we're going to call this a failed camp and a failed recce.
Nothing happens in the usual sense. No sound, movement, or encounter, but that's the point. The experience is driven entirely by perception. The environment, context, and isolation combine before anything occurs. Instead of pushing through, she stops, listening to instinct, which changes the outcome. It ends early, not because something is there, but because everything suggests it could be, and that alone is enough. The footage is from The Explorer Returns, a UK channel focused on urban exploration and overnight stealth camping, tracking suspicious activity in secluded areas. In March 2026, they set up near a rural urban footpath bordered by hedges and open land. The site is chosen deliberately, known for reports of people gathering silently in the hedges at night. Past visits have confirmed the behavior, making this more than a simple exploration.
This is exactly the spot where they hang out. They all come out and hang right here. Okay. No. If the lights are off, no, I wouldn't see you. I was just trying to clear the brambles a little bit. Don't get behind me. We need to hurry up because it's not going to be long before they start coming out. Yeah.
And the pegs? I guess we won't bother with the pegs.
No. We can do actually. Yeah, it is actually tricky. Ready? Yeah.
Oh, that's alright, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where's the entrance?
Right here.
What's the brambles like?
The setup is intentional, positioned close enough to watch the footpath but hidden from view. They anticipate activity around 8 to 9 p.m. At this point, nothing is happening, yet focus remains fixed on the surroundings.
We're in the tree.
the first figure emerges behind the trees, moving slowly and repeatedly glancing back toward the tent. The striking detail isn't just the presence, but the awareness.
There's another one. There's another person. There's two people. They're not talking to each other, so they're not part of the same. I think this is just a regular guy walking past.
One figure moves back and forth, then vanishes. No clear path, no visible exit, just disappearing into the darkness.
About an hour. There's not been a single person. No one's come through here whatsoever. And we just kind of just stood here waiting around. Time's currently 9:15. I've only got Ross and Adam for another 2 hours. And I'm on my own. Do you see the people or not? They were here around this time last.
Activity picks up with another figure briefly visible near the trees, then disappearing again. The appearances are brief and inconsistent, feeling less like movement and more like reappearing.
What is he doing? What is he doing? That looks so freaky. There's another person over there. Oh shit. So there's a second one. It must be him. Look, he's got a balaclava up. He's got a balaclava up above his face. We're surrounded. There's one over there. There's another one further down. Oh, this guy needs to. What is that?
Later, the activity continues. Figures reappear in areas they had already left. The pattern repeats. Brief visibility, then gone, with no clear entry or exit. There's no confrontation, no one approaches or speaks, but the behavior stands out, appearing, holding position, then disappearing repeatedly. Individually, it could be explained as people on a path in low light, but together it stops feeling random, not because of who's there, but how and when they appear, or vanish. The video is from Ash K, a wilderness exploration channel covering off-grid camping, bushcraft survival, and overnight stays in isolated forests. It often captures real-time reactions to unexplained sounds and movements. This footage was taken on October 5th, 2024, in a remote North American forest.
Good morning. So here we are starting the day off with what, Zach?
Should I just make the coffee or tell about the night?
You can tell about the coffee and your night.
Okay, well, I had a little bit of bee pollen. I have some manuka honey I'm adding in. I also have some pear mushrooms as...
The video starts the morning after an overnight stay, with the camper reflecting on a night filled with unease. Nothing is happening in real time, but the carryover matters. They recall staying awake, feeling unsettled, and remaining alert, which builds tension even before any main event is described.
I don't know, 10 minutes, and I was thinking about what transpired during the night prior to going to bed. And I was completely wide awake, and as I got a little bit emotional about what happened with my dog earlier, a very large human thing walked up to my tent while I was wide awake, and I started hollering.
They recount a sudden disturbance outside the tent at night. Heavy, deliberate footsteps approaching the campsite close enough to track direction. They shout to create distance and alert their companion. This marks a shift from general unease to a specific moment of perceived proximity.
And I kept hearing this dog tinging, just like we heard the last time, and he's not moving, he's napping, he's sleeping right beside us. And what did I say, Ash? I said out loud, out into the bush, I said, "You're not taking my dog."
The dog reacts after the disturbance, becoming alert and moving closer to the camper. This doesn't confirm anything, but it reinforces the timing. The reaction follows the peak moment, keeping the situation ambiguous yet relevant.
He was reading Zach's mind before he even said it. So at the same time, all of a sudden, I turn around to look at Zach like, oh, you're that concerned? He was standing there and the dog's like, yep, he's that concerned, and he could feel it. Like Tucker himself could feel.
Yeah, and then Tucker was sleeping in the tent with me, and
Afterwards, they analyze the event considering size, movement, and sound, but no visuals are confirmed, leaving the experience based on audio and perception rather than proof. The sequence, unease, sound, proximity, reaction, shapes the encounter more than any single moment. The sounds consistently suggest movement toward the camp, yet nothing is resolved. The emphasis is on the sense of closeness without ever seeing anything. Rock and Roll Rambler, a Yuki-based outdoor and wild camping channel focused on real-time mountain survival, captures footage from January 18th, 2026, in the Mourne Mountains, Northern Ireland. Conditions are clear, calm, and controlled, but the forecast is known in advance, so everything that follows is preparation for what's coming, not reaction.
Okay, so we've got the Mealmore. This is where we plan to camp for the night. I'm going to try and put the tents up here. The ground is rock solid, so could have issues getting pegs in. And with the winds tonight to be so high, we really want to make sure the tent's secured. We're going to need all the help we can get. Pegs in, guy ropes up. Probably need to put rocks on top of the pegs just to make sure they don't come out. So we're going to give that a go now, try and get the tent up.
Conditions quickly change. Temperature drops, wind picks up, and the environment shifts from stable to exposed. Once it starts, the change is irreversible.
On the top of Mealmore, obviously a lot of people out wanting to get a view of the snow and enjoy it. Northern Ireland, we don't get an awful lot of snow, and when we do, it usually doesn't hang around for too long, so everyone's making the most of it. But the amount of people have seen our tents and said, "Yous are mad, it's freezing, what do you do it for?" And the thing is, in the summer you can forget things and get away with it, but in the winter you just can't do that. Everything you pack has a reason, every layer has a job, and that's what preparation is key to that.
Survival mode kicks in early. Layering, heat retention, and energy management become priorities. So far, everything holds, but only because preparation is offsetting the worsening conditions.
We have just got back into the tents. We're in the wee stone hut all night with fire logs going. It was nice, cozy, lovely and toasty. Just as the night went on, the weather outside just got worse and worse. So just got back into the tents. It's about 10 p.m. and the wind has fairly picked up. Crazy, and the snow, and it's cold. So it's looking like we're in for a rough night. But I'm going to try my best here. Get in the sleeping bag, try and get some sleep, but it is not looking likely.
The failure point arrives when the tent collapses, a pole snaps, and the structure gives way. Shelter is gone, everything changes, and without it, temperature becomes the main threat.
We had head torches, but they can only show you 5 meters in front of you, which at that time, yes, was great, but we couldn't find that path to get back onto it. And there was one point where John's head torch failed, the battery had run down, but thankfully I had a spare, so I was able to give him mine, which allowed us to carry on. Another thing that was happening,
no hesitation occurs. Staying risks hypothermia. Discomfort turns into exposure as the descent begins. marking the most dangerous phase. Darkness, wind, and rain reduce visibility, the path is lost, and the terrain becomes harder to read.
Because of the strong winds and rain were raging, the waters were high and gushing really, really fast. And we walked up and down them to see if we could get a safe place to cross, but there was only one way through that. And we were up to our knees walking through the rivers, and thankfully none of us got hurt. And I don't mind admitting.
When the wind becomes too strong to stand, they drop to hands and knees, showing the force has surpassed normal movement, and control is reduced to basic survival positioning. Flooded terrain adds fast-moving streams, making crossings a calculated risk. There's no ambiguity. Good conditions deteriorate gradually, the tent fails, and evacuation becomes necessary. The critical moment is the tent collapsing, removing protection, and turning a tough night into a survival situation. From that point, it's no longer camping. It's about descending the mountain before conditions take full control. The Eerie clip is from AJ Paranormal, a solo channel that investigates unexplained activity in wooded areas, often tied to Bigfoot reports and strange environmental events. This footage was captured on March 4th, 2026, in a wooded park with a swamp and nearby houses in the United States.
It's made me jump. I knew that was going to happen. Just like that. Oh, sorry, let me pick you up.
Movement through the area begins with cameras being set up and angles covered, the surroundings quiet and controlled. Then a sudden noise shatters that calm, close enough to prompt an immediate response, though nothing is found. While it could be explained as a single occurrence, it highlights an important fact. The environment isn't entirely predictable.
That wasn't there. Look at this. Something's been using the bark for that. It's kind of cool. Oh, look, a structure. Never mind. Sorry.
Later, the change becomes visual rather than auditory. A pause reveals something ahead that seems off, not because it moved, but because it wasn't there before. This creates a new kind of uncertainty, not sudden activity, but a subtle alteration in the environment.
But they like to throw rocks. And I wanted to do that just to see if it'll do it again. Pretty bird. But I'm going to cut it here and use my action camera.
A rock is thrown deliberately into the woods, a controlled test to see if any presence responds. The action creates a clear cause and effect scenario, followed by a pause to listen. Nothing is confirmed, leaving the situation unresolved, yet not easily dismissed.
I had a rock thrown at me. And if my phone goes off, my bad. How did I get up here before? Hold on. Alright, so I had the camera up there. There, if it went off, my bad. That's where we all came out of, that way over there. I have this pointing over here because I want to see if there's something behind me at all. Because where I heard the rock thrown was that way. And it came like this. Not like that, but you get the idea. Or did it come from this direction? Because I was sitting here and just talking, and then all of a sudden, you know, kind of thing.
Returning to a familiar spot, attempts are made to recreate a previous event by throwing a rock and watching for a response, but nothing happens. There's no clear interaction, just fragments, a sound, a subtle change, a past event, and an attempted reaction. Each moment alone is explainable, but together they hint at a loose pattern. Testing the environment changes expectations, and the absence of a response becomes meaningful. By the end, nothing is confirmed, yet the possibility of something unseen lingers. The unsettling footage comes from Pitched Up, a UK wild camping channel following friends on real-time overnight trips in remote locations. Their content highlights natural conditions, group dynamics, and how the environment shapes the experience. This video was filmed on October 21st, 2024 at Crow Earth, United Kingdom.
It was a last minute idea. Second camera Rob's destroyed the fire.
I'm pretty sure I can see a flame, bro.
Hmm?
Said I'm pretty sure I can see a flame.
They arrive late, with daylight fading, immediately imposing limits on time and visibility. Setup is rushed, tents go up quickly, gear is arranged hastily, and fire preparation begins under pressure. The wind is steady, not extreme, but enough to affect movement and sound, creating instability before anything else occurs.
Second camera Rob's destroyed the fire.
I'm pretty sure I can see a flame, bro.
Hmm?
Said I'm pretty sure I can see a flame.
I've got it, Leviosa.
Oh, that was very close. What are you doing?
Stood up too quick. Oh! Oh! Got jabbed up the ass by your chair, bro. Oh, that really hurt.
Then the first disruption occurs, a sudden disturbance near camp with no clear source. Conversation halts, and attention turns outward as the group tries to identify the cause. Nothing is confirmed, but the important detail is the interruption itself.
Hey?
I'll sort you out in a minute, sir. Right. What we got down on here then? Angles and all that.
Don't step backwards, Smash. My cup's down there.
Oh, I think I've done my bit, mate.
So we've had a couple of hot dogs. That's all we've had, isn't it?
Yeah,
Eh?
some sweeties.
And some sweets. A cup of tea with some brandy in it. Couple of brandies with no tea in it.
A second disruption occurs, this time near the fire. It's brief and unclear, but enough to trigger another reaction. There's still no visible cause, yet the repetition makes it more than an isolated event.
We're going to try and get some footage of the moon, because there's meant to be a big super moon tonight, for the last night. And we've got a tripod, so we're going to try and get that on. If Rob's still with us. It's up there through the trees, but we're going to go into the field.
The wind picks up and sound carries through the trees, creating constant background noise. This makes it harder to distinguish real movement from environmental sounds, increasing uncertainty. The situation doesn't escalate into a clear event. It stays at disruption, arrival under pressure, interruption, repetition, then ambient noise dominating. Nothing is confirmed or followed up, but the sequence is enough to change the tone. The video comes from Blot Outdoors Show, a UK wild camping channel specializing in solo stealth camps in unusual, often eerie spots. On November 3rd, 2025, in Houghton-le-Spring, Tyne and Wear, he moves deep into a graveyard in near total darkness. The ground is uneven, visibility is limited, and graves are misaligned or missing, creating uncertainty in footing and layout. Early on, spatial awareness is lost, not just because of darkness, but because the environment itself doesn't map clearly.
I heard a voice there. It's probably just some young'uns shouting. There were some kids down the road there. Right. Yeah, you can see, can't you? They're well worn, these graves.
It happens again. Voices of the same type occur during setup. The timing is different, but the pattern is the same. It interrupts him, and though still unconfirmed, it becomes a repetition rather than a single occurrence.
Now, I have heard 2 or 3 voices already, but that was really clear. And have you noticed? I don't know what it is. It sounds like a little bit camp. You alright? Like a little bit, should I say, in the back streets of Brighton and Hove Albion. That's making me think, is there some ghostly spirits around here? Has there been a homosexual?
Proximity shifts when a noise comes from directly behind, prompting an immediate reaction. No delay, no humor, just alertness. This is the first moment where direction matters, not just sound.
I think there, cheese man dingoes. Anyway, I think I've talked too much for too long. Wow, that was weird. Anyway, when I bring you Roger Blackneck, we'll get some food on mice. Yes, man, dingoes. Let's get this. A beef casserole popped into the plastic bowl dingo. And we'll see. Oh, come on. There's that much meat and potato in there. It's a bit blockaroonied. Come on. Get in. Yes. Oh, look at the steam coming off that. Come on then, folks. This looks like a meal fit.
The pattern continues with unexplained noises, consistent yet never confirmed. Movement and conversation carry on, but the baseline has shifted. The environment no longer feels quiet, instead seeming active despite no visible source.
Wowza, Wernie. Right, come on. I'm gonna finish this off. And I'll bring you back for the world famous Waskerium frights. Yes, guys. You know what time it is. It's Wasky time. What have we got? Gretna Green. So you know, if you're thinking about running off to marry your lovely girlfriend.
A sudden, close sound disrupts his usual composure, showing it's strong enough to bypass control. There's no visual confirmation, no figure, no direct contact, but the pattern is clear. The sound repeats, changes position, comes closer, and elicits a reaction. It escalates without any resolution. Unlike ordinary environmental noises, it's not random or continuous, appearing at just the right moments to be noticed. In the end, the focus isn't on what made the noise, but that it never fully shows itself. The eerie footage comes from Exploring Sussex, a UK rural exploration channel covering green lanes, byways, and remote countryside routes. On November 25th, 2021, in Ashington, West Sussex, the walk starts near Wormhurst Church. Initially, the lane seems manageable, quiet, slightly overgrown, yet clearly defined. As progress continues, the path narrows, hedges close in, and visibility decreases, making the area feel increasingly enclosed while still passable.
Almost the end of the lane. You'll see, or there was when I came here on my last visit, somebody living just off the lane in what looks like a caravan.
Future me here. Just been watching back the video whilst I do the edits and just wanted to talk about green lanes in the UK. So generally a green lane in the UK is a road described as a boat, byway open to all traffic.
Deeper into the lane, its purpose becomes clear. It's designed more for farm access, horses, or occasional vehicles than regular foot traffic, which explains the isolation. This is a place people go to intentionally, not just pass through.
Really want to get stuck. See, that would be the bit that worries me. That is very rutted. If I had a lift on it, it's possible I might get through that, but in standard form I think I would get stuck. So I might deem this unpassable.
Then comes the critical point. No turning space. Once inside this section, movement is limited. You either go forward or make a long reverse back out. There's no easy way to exit.
On the caravan. I'm not sure whether it's still occupied.
Then something unexpected appears. A caravan parked just off the lane. It doesn't look abandoned or clearly empty, suggesting someone is using the space, living away from everything else. That shifts the feeling of the lane from isolated to occupied.
It's probably passable, but I think you probably need 2 vehicles just because of some of the deep ruts of the soft mud. If you get stuck down there on your own, you get stuck.
Near the end, evidence shows the lane is regularly used, but by hooved animals rather than pedestrians. The path works only for those accustomed to it. Nothing dramatic happens. No incidents or encounters, just a gradual journey. As he moves further in, options shrink, the path narrows, the ground becomes unstable, and there's no simple escape. The night's striking footage comes from Rick's Paranormal Adventures, a UK channel exploring haunted woods in real time. On April 20th, 2026, in Judy Woods, West Yorkshire, the session starts abruptly with no build-up. Footsteps are heard close by, identifiable as movement but not seen.
Spirit, can you walk away from this device? Can you let it go back down to green? Just move your phone slightly away from it. It's not the phone.
No, I move over here. Here, on the orange, but here. Red.
That's very strange. There could be something messing with it. Try moving around a bit. Oh, that's solid. Wow.
Now it's just blinking.
Stranger.
Solid literally here.
That is proper going off. Settled when I came near it. Thank you, Spirit, if that's you near that device.
Literally here.
That's nice. So Lucas's EMF meter's going off. I'll tell you what. Let's see if mine's doing the same. Right where Lucas's is. Yeah, they both are.
Mine's just stopped.
Is it this?
Blue eyes.
Who's got blue eyes?
Me.
Have you?
Yeah.
It's just said blue eyes. I'm just going to turn this off, Lucas.
Yeah.
To see if they calm down. I'm just wondering if it's infrared. I like messing with it. You see what I mean about this kind of stuff though? Because we were here 2 days ago and these EMF meters were absolutely fine, weren't they?
Yeah, until we went down there.
What I mean is, now, it's just, it's going off on one. Solid red lights.
Like that one's gone off. The one that's literally just behind me.
Then, the equipment responds. EMF readings jump sharply to red levels as they move through certain spots. The spikes aren't constant. They shift with position, giving the sense of proximity-based interaction. Whether it's truly paranormal or not, it comes across as something reacting relative to them, rather than just random environmental interference.
Like it's coming down towards us, and that's what it sounds like every time to me, and it freaks me out. And what freaks me out more is Lucas doesn't hear it. So why am I hearing it?
The split perception returns. One hears movement coming from behind the trees down toward the valley, while at the same moment, another hears nothing. This highlights the instability of the environment. Without shared confirmation, nothing fully registers as real. Yet nothing is completely dismissed either.
It felt like someone just pushed my camera, like, towards me. It just felt like something just pushed the camera towards me like that, guys. I'm not even joking. That just fucking scared the bastard life out of me.
Then a physical interaction is reported. The camera moves forward noticeably, perceived as a push. This marks a shift from sound and equipment readings to direct contact. Yet no visible source appears, just an effect without an apparent cause.
Startled by something in the woods coming towards us. We saw torchlights, so we came down the bridge a little bit, and it should have carried on coming towards us if it was human-like, because it was making its way down. It hasn't passed us yet.
A fleeting shape appears between two trees, briefly caught in the headlights, but never clear or sustained. Conflicting signals follow. Sounds without agreement, movement unseen, equipment spikes, and contact with no source. Each suggests interaction, yet none aligns. By the end, nothing is confirmed, but nothing is dismissed, as the activity keeps shifting and remains unresolved. The footage is from Sam Walks a Lot, a UK walking and paranormal exploration channel that conducts real-time investigations of woodland hotspots. This video was filmed on February 26, 2025 in Clapham Wood, West Sussex, United Kingdom.
Dick man. I've seen this thing going off during paranormal investigations just out of the blue. So I know that it works. It's very anticlimactic.
She arrives at a well-known hotspot tree in the woods. There's no change in atmosphere, just a location noted for activity. She sets up her EMF reader at the base, acting deliberately and with control. At this point, she's conducting a test rather than responding to anything.
Okay, guys. And it's gone.
A brief, clear EMF spike occurs with no visible cause or movement. She notes it analytically, but it doesn't persist. No follow-up or escalation, just a single event returning to baseline. The key point is that it happens only once and never again. The video comes from Straight Explorer, a UK solo channel focused on wild camping and paranormal exploration in remote woodlands. On April 17th, 2026, he arrives late with little daylight and minimal margin for error, aiming to get deep into the forest, away from edges and paths. As he ventures further, dense trees, mossy ground, and limited visibility begin to close in, making navigation more difficult, a detail that becomes important later.
Until this day, it's just knock on wood, I've only ever had one, and I don't know how I've only had one. Like, I've literally slept on forest floors. Right, I'm going to bring you guys back in a minute, because this might be a bit challenging, looking for somewhere suitable.
Camp setup is dictated by circumstances rather than choice. Flat ground is scarce, visibility is low, and positioning is constrained. The silence is striking, not peaceful, but total. No birds, no movement, just emptiness. That absence sets the baseline for everything that follows.
Wolves. What is that? We're far as well from any houses. It's not quite gone dark yet. I think I'm going to get the fire going.
The first disruption of the silence is a sound, a distant howl or moan. It stands out sharply because nothing else competes with it. No wind, no background noise, just a lone source somewhere in the forest.
I got the door open. Oh man. It's getting heavier and heavier.
Then the weather changes. Heavy rain starts, reducing visibility and altering how sound carries. Isolation intensifies as movement is restricted, leaving him fixed in place with awareness limited to the immediate surroundings.
Necromancer.
Necromancer.
Focus on the moment.
I am focusing on the moment. What can I hear behind me? Guys, there is something right here behind me.
Then, a visual uncertainty appears near the tree line. Brief and unclear, but enough to interrupt his actions. He looks, but nothing is confirmed. The interruption itself matters more than what is seen.
Someone out there. Now I'm doing it. Ah, see, I'm not going to be able to clip that on properly because I haven't got my gloves to handle it after. What I need to try and do now is get this on there. So it's got these little handles that you flick up.
Deeper in the forest, knocking sounds are heard, distinct, not random, and unlike natural movement. They feel deliberate, structured, yet remain unconfirmed.
What is that? Someone said in a comment, I think I read it just yesterday, they said, it sounds like a wolf. And I know we spoke about wolves earlier and things, but what did they say? Something about a wolf that's been disowned or pushed out the pack or something, but we have not got wolves. And I don't think that's it.
Another EVP attempt produces a response. The word "there" comes at a moment that matches the setup rather than random timing. It's not proof, but it reinforces the emerging pattern.
What is going on? Something's out here messing with me. There is something literally screwing with me out here.
He tries to leave, following what he thinks is the right path, but ends up somewhere entirely different. Distance doesn't match movement, direction doesn't match intent. This marks a shift from distant perception to real-time navigation failure. It builds gradually: silence, then sound, proximity, movement, and finally loss of direction. Each stage erodes control, and by the end, it's less about what's in the forest and more about how the forest manipulates him. Once orientation fails, everything else becomes unreliable. The video comes from Z.R. Jones Productions, a Yu Yuki creator exploring forests and isolated spots solo, focusing on the psychological effects of darkness rather than confirmed paranormal activity. On April 10th, 2026, in Samson's Wood, he enters aware of the mental challenges, framing the experience with humor, joking about fear, and referencing films, preparing for the environment rather than reacting to it.
I get frightened. Nothing scary in these woods. Probably just a few badgers and foxes. Yeah, not scary.
Then a direct reaction occurs. He stops and calls out, asking if anyone is there. Nothing responds, nothing moves, yet internally it escalates. He's now engaging with the possibility rather than just anticipating it.
In these woods that could harm you. It's just people about their business. And their houses. Nothing big and scary comes along.
He finally stops and ends the recording, not because anything happened, but because control is lost. No external event occurs, no figure, no unexplainable sound, no interaction. The progression is entirely internal. Familiar surroundings, darkness, uncertainty, self-questioning, and loss of confidence. Each stage builds on perception rather than evidence. By the end, nothing is proven present, yet the pressure of the experience forces withdrawal, showing that sometimes the environment doesn't need to change for its effect to be real. The footage comes from Volkers Herholt, a South African wilderness survival channel focused on solo camping in active game areas near Kruger National Park. The content emphasizes real-time bush awareness, tracking, and understanding animal behavior in high-risk environments. This video was filmed on April 22, 2026 in the KwaZulu-Natal Klaserie region, South Africa.
The hippo bull that walked here last night, probably. Walked down this way. You can still smell the scatterings of the dung. Yeah, I'm just walking quietly down here, just still looking for a place to spend the night. Check that out. Also something out here. Seems there was a little bit of a disturbance here, but this is old.
From the start, the environment is already active. Fresh hippo dung, buffalo tracks, and signs of a recent kill are all found in the same area. This is significant because it shows multiple species overlap in the space.
I do think they come in here at night. That's a big hyena track here. Obviously they use this as a highway. When I camp near here, I often hear them use this as a highway to go to wherever they want at night.
At night, he reevaluates his location near water, where hippos, insects, and general activity all intensify. This forces a choice: remain in a known active area or move with limited time before dark.
Okay, something interesting, guys. I just spotted it now. I didn't see it on the way in. But this over here is a wild dog track. An African wild dog. That's a very rare dog species in Africa, and yeah, it looks like they were running here down this way. You can see the nails there as they were running. There are a few here actually, so that's pretty cool. It would have been awesome to see that. Maybe they're still in the area, but they cover a lot of distance sometimes. You know, you see them in one place and the next day they're like 10 kilometers away, 20 kilometers away. Ah. That would have been awesome. But still awesome to see. Very nice.
Night identifies active nearby wildlife, hyena calls, and a leopard within range. Though nothing is seen, its location is estimated using sound and experience, turning the situation from a possible risk into immediate proximity.
Woke me up. But yeah, pretty cool night, eh? Still a cool night. I think it's about, it's probably about, the baboons squatting. Yeah, lots of night sounds tonight. It's insane. Definitely spotted something. Yo, my fire is dead. And yeah, it's pretty dark tonight. Very dark.
The environment grows complex. Lions call from various directions, baboons react, and movement continues in the background. There's no single source, just overlapping signals, which makes tracking anything clearly impossible.
I couldn't wake up. And it was a dream. There was nothing coming. And then some stage it smelled me and it ran out this way. Afterwards I woke up and it was dead quiet. And then it would have been a bummer because the trail camera, the battery's dead or something, because there's a red light just coming on. It's not taking any video, but nothing came by. I think I would have woke up unless a leopard snuck by, which I doubt. But what a awesome evening. It's so nice up there. It's freedom to the next level. You're lying up there, you're relatively safe, and you can watch the stars, you're up in the trees. It is just a different experience. I love it, and it's so comfortable. I slept well, I got cold like a...
Sleep is broken, and alertness stays high, with sounds mixing with expectation. It's not hallucination, just overload from constant activity. Tracks, signs, and overlapping movement. Nothing comes close or makes contact, but proximity is key. The camp isn't isolated. Morning shows fresh tracks near the camp, proving the area never stopped moving. He just stayed in it. This video is from the YouTube channel Ray RLC, where Tim decides to check out a forest trail after hearing about a strange report sent to Ray Gloom. The message came from an anonymous sender who said he had been hiking along a faint path leading up a remote hillside deep in the woods. During a night hike, he started hearing what sounded like laughter echoing through the trees. At first, it didn't seem like anything serious, possibly just wind or an animal, but after about an hour, the sound returned, closer and much more unsettling. That's when he felt uneasy, turned back, and ended up seeing something.
Oh, shoot! Eerie laugh right there. Guys, I'm terrified right now.
Peeking from behind a tree was what looked like a human head, and as he watched, the figure stepped out a little more. It seemed to be an elderly woman, but something about her felt off. Honestly, the whole thing comes across as staged, more like someone dressing up and trying to create a creepy moment than a genuine encounter. This clip comes from a channel called Roy, which focuses on wildlife using hidden forest cameras to capture whatever passes through. The setting this time is a quiet trail in Slovakia. During a hike with his dog, what started as a calm walk suddenly turned dangerous. By coincidence, one of Roy's cameras was pointed right at that part of the trail, capturing exactly what they unexpectedly ran into. A trail camera isn't placed randomly. It's set where animals are known to pass. On that path in Slovakia, it captured a tense moment when a bear charged at a hiker and his dog. The man quickly positioned himself behind a tree, using the trunk as a barrier while trying to scare it off. Thankfully, the approach worked, and both he and the dog made it out without any injuries. Alex spends a lot of time exploring old towns and abandoned buildings, and for this trip, he packed up his van and headed to a small, nearly forgotten place called Yeso in New Mexico. The area had only a few worn-down buildings still standing, and he even considered staying the night in his van if things didn't feel too strange.
Starting to get dark. It's not totally dark yet. A lot of debris, so we're here, but it's dark inside here, that's for sure. So we're gonna explore it, see what it looks like, see if we detect anything. So this is the big room here. A lot of debris, furniture, that sort of thing going on here. Tumbleweeds, sound of the train. And as you can see, there's really nothing out there. Tonight, I'm gonna park my car over there. I mean, my van, RV van. I'm gonna stay the night tonight here in the Yeso town. So we're gonna go upstairs. Creepy place upstairs. The other thing that happened when we're up here, these are the stairs, if you see them. See if you can see them. They go up there to that door.
The house Alex entered was in rough shape with peeling walls, worn floors, and that quiet, uneasy feeling old places tend to have. Nothing obvious stood out while he checked each room, but something about it still felt off. After finishing, he left without wasting time, especially with the sun going down and the walk back to the van ahead. Being alone in a place like that made the idea of running into someone unsettling. Once back, he showed how everything was set up inside the van and tried to get some rest. But when night fully settled in, things started to get strange.
Something woke me up. I think, sounded like footsteps. I'm not sure if that's what woke me up. I put on my pants and my shoes just for in case. I was asleep. all my windows closed. I got this light here, but I don't know if they can see it. But I suddenly heard footsteps. Something woke me up. I'm not sure what it was. Oh, I heard the footsteps again. Looks like they went to the back. Okay. Somebody's definitely outside. I don't think I'm gonna stay here. Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? There's somebody inside. Son of a... I don't even know if I'm gonna go outside. Who is it? I'm coming outside, man. Just so you know, I'm armed. I'm opening the door. Who's there? I don't see anybody. Anybody there? Motherfucker, somebody out here. Hello? Maybe they went inside that schoolhouse. Okay. It's time for me to go. The sound was coming from this side, from the driver's side.
When Alex checked outside, no one was there. It seemed like someone had noticed the van, thought it was empty, and got curious, then quickly left after hearing a response from inside. It could have been a prank or someone looking for an easy opportunity, but there was no way to know. Instead of sticking around, he packed up and left, which likely kept things from getting worse. Even being prepared to defend himself, he chose to avoid any direct encounter, since sometimes leaving is the safer choice. This story originates from the channel Exploring the Unknown and begins quite normally. A guy and his girlfriend went camping in the woods in Michigan just to relax, not to film anything or look for anything weird. It's usually a calm spot where nothing really happens, just regular campers and maybe a squirrel here and there. Everything stayed quiet and uneventful until around 4 in the morning when they stepped out of their tent to warm up by the fire. That's when the vibe suddenly changed, and somewhere out in the trees, something started moving.
We pitched a fire over there. Sorry, the quality is not the best, but off in the distance I hear like yelping. I hope you guys can hear it.
I cannot hear it, but Brian keeps saying it's there. I keep hearing something in the woods right behind our campsite walking around.
The yelping is coming from this direction.
Are you still hearing the footsteps? Because I'm not.
Yeah. I heard footsteps over here.
Should I grab my flashlight?
I think another light would not hurt.
I just don't want to leave the car by too long of a distance. Which is why I'm like,
Here, I'll come with you.
I'm not seeing or hearing anything.
What's weird is that this shit happened when we were going to bed too. Except without the yelping.
I don't find it that weird. We were hiking up the trail and Probably spooked some of the other campers.
That was hours before we went to bed.
I know, but we've done it at night before. Have we not?
Did you hear that?
The branch
Yeah, that sounded big.
could be a little bigger.
Well, it's kind of, I guess, alarming to me that the yelping stopped.
Was that a whistle?
I think so.
Footsteps by that campsite. Dude, literally was. Huh?
What the?
Shall we say something?
Hello?
Was there another? Like, that had to be another camper.
It's 4 in the morning. Who's gonna be up?
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's weird. It's weird.
They didn't stick around to find out what was moving through the trees and quickly packed up and left. What made it strange was that animals usually run away when they see humans, but this thing stayed nearby, almost as if it was observing them. People in the comments are already debating what it could have been, with some claiming it was Bigfoot. Whatever it was, the safest move was to leave, especially when the forest starts feeling off. Houston Wilson, a biking enthusiast who shares his rides on YouTube, takes on the remote Tour de los Padres route, a tough trail through California's harsh backcountry. The ride starts steadily, but it quickly turns difficult as exhaustion kicks in, the heat builds, and dehydration begins to take a toll.
I am here in San Luis Obispo, also known as Slow, and we've got about 6 or 7 hours till sundown, so kind of need to get going. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the route as we go along here. The Tour de los Padres is a long distance mountain bike route in the backcountry of California.
He starts the ride without wasting time, but just a few hours in, the intense heat becomes too much and forces him to stop.
I need to take a break. I'm so hot. I'm not even at the top of this thing yet. I need to sit down and take a break. I'm getting like a little too overheated and I'm having trouble just like drinking anything. So I'm gonna sit up here where the view is nice, just for a little bit. Yeah, I ate some cashews, had some water. I think the problem is my digestion is just preventing me from processing the food that I'm eating, so I'm feeling like very weak and hot.
After a long day of riding, he stops in a remote area to rest for the night. By morning, he's back on the trail, focused on continuing the journey, but admits his main concern is whether his wheel will last the rest of the way.
My rear hub has been making a lot of noise and I'm scared that my wheel is just gonna fall apart. My cranks don't feel great. I'm scared that my bottom bracket is gonna explode. But I'm just trying to remind myself that I'm just riding. Yeah, feeling demoralized again. I don't know how much further I have, but I'm struggling a little bit mentally. I just feel really scared. I don't know why I just getting. I just feel really scared and alone.
From the start, ongoing problems with the bike kept slowing him down. The intense heat, limited water, and isolation wore him out, and finishing the trail started to feel impossible. Eventually, the pressure got to him, and he broke down in tears.
Yeah, I'm doing better. I'm feeling better. I think I'll feel even better when I eat some more food, but it can just get like really scary out here sometimes. Yeah, especially when you're doing it alone. Yeah, like so many things can go wrong, and there's still a lot more of the ride to come. I'm just gonna, just keep focusing on what I need to do, which is eating, drinking, being safe.
The climb felt endless and left him completely drained. The quiet of the backcountry grew heavier with each mile, and even at night, there was barely any rest. His bike kept breaking down until it became too risky to keep going. He refilled his water whenever he could, but as the situation got worse, he finally decided to abandon the trail.
Hey, so it's like 3 a.m. I've made the decision that I need to leave my bike up here, and I have a lot of things I wish I would have done differently, but my main focus right now is just getting down the mountain. I was doing that hike-a-bike section, and as I got closer to the top, I realized that I couldn't remember the last 30 minutes, and I thought, like, oh, I should sit down. And the moment I sat down, I started thinking about death. I was like, am I like ready to die? And I like pulled out my bivvy, and I was like, oh, maybe I should take some videos for like different people in my life, just giving like a final message or something. And I don't know if like I actually would have died in that moment, but it felt like I was going.
With no other option, he continued on foot under the intense heat, pushing himself to the edge before finally coming across other people days later. Only then did it sink in that he had made it out, even though the lack of proper gear and limited water had nearly cost him his life. What do you think about his experience and how it could have been handled? A creator known as Silver Wolves focuses on exploring places most people would never go alone, from underground tunnels to dense forests and long-forgotten locations with a lot of history behind them. Anyone interested in abandoned spots and hidden stories usually gets drawn into his content. In one of his videos, he heads into Uharry National Forest and decides to spend the night out there.
Ladies, gents, YouTube, I am on my way to the Burkhead Mountain Wilderness area, Uharry National Forest. I'm going to be going on an overnight exploration. I'm going to set up base camp and then explore out from there. I'm going to be going off trail. Not sure how brushy it is and how much briars and so forth that's going to slow me down, but it's going to be a challenge. I'm using Onyx Backcountry. I created my own waypoints. There's going to be an old road, ghost road, hopefully I could find. I'm going to call it Old Gray Owl Road. Why? Because it connects to a road outside the forest that is called Gray Owl Road. But I want this video to be more of a how-to guide for people that want to go camping, go exploring for abandoned locations, paranormal investigation, Bigfoot hunting and all that. There's not too many videos out there.
After arriving, he picked up his gear and started down the trail, heading toward a specific spot he had already chosen to camp for the night, moving deeper into the forest to reach it.
You know what? I was thinking of following that trail a little bit further down the creek here, but I think I'm just going to jump. I'm just going to jump out into the woods. It looks kind of clear. Doesn't look too bad. There's a summit. I'm going to jump back in and start giving you my plan of action once I get to the summit. But I always do this with every video, and I like to mention it, is I always like to feel the area before I really start recording. So,
after hiking for a while, he came across a quiet clearing that felt like a solid place to camp for the night. Once the tent was set up and everything was in place, he checked his map and noticed a few old buildings not too far away. Curiosity got the better of him, so he headed toward them. But as he moved through the trees, something started to feel off. Strange noises began echoing through the woods, and the farther he went, the more noticeable and unsettling they became.
I'm gonna head back to camp. Coyotes are out. I'm getting a little turned around. It's kind of weird. My GPS was acting kind of funny. I'm not trying to sound spooky or anything like that, but it felt like I was walking, like it was starting to go around in circles before I was getting near the home, the abandoned home. So before I get too turned around, before the coyotes, I just want to get settled in.
His first attempt to reach that spot didn't go far. Distant howls started echoing through the trees, and that was enough to make him turn back and return to camp. The next morning, he tried again, and this time the forest was completely quiet as he walked. He eventually made it to the old house he had been looking for, but the moment he stood in front of it, something felt off. The whole place carried a heavy, uneasy atmosphere, like it wasn't meant to be approached.
This is creepy. Holy moly, I gotta go in. I gotta take this backpack off. I mean, just look at the way, this is so classic. Look at the way these chairs are just lined on top of each other. It smells like pee a little bit. Yeah, that's definitely pee. It almost smells like human pee. Oh. I got some hunting pictures. I don't know what's in the box, man. Should I look? Right, let's just focus on something else. Sports Illustrated. I'm sure this became, in probably better condition, a hunting station for the locals. Robert, you should have used the Canon.
He carefully made his way through the crumbling building until he reached a set of old stairs that looked like they could give out at any second. Even with that risk, he chose to climb up and check the second floor. The moment he got to the top, something happened that caught him completely off guard.
I hope no crazy son of a living up here. I've seen too many of those videos. Oh, shit. What the f? Oh, alright, there's an animal in there. Oh. What the hell? Whew. Oh man, my heart's pounding right now. I don't know what, I don't want to get bit. Out here, nope. Shoot. Alright, we got downstairs covered. Whew. Man. Son of a gun. Did we look in there? Yeah, we looked in there. Alright, let me get my... Ah, man, my heart's pounding right now. Ooh, I'm shaking.
The way he suddenly stopped and backed off made it clear something wasn't right. Places like that don't always stay empty. Sometimes they end up being used by people who want to stay hidden, and crossing paths with someone like that can be far more dangerous than anything supernatural. It could have just as easily been an animal keeping quiet, but either way, getting too close isn't a good idea. There have been other cases where explorers walk into abandoned buildings and realize someone's been living there, and those moments can shift from curiosity to fear instantly. Situations like that are unpredictable, and the real danger isn't always what's visible, but the chance that something or someone is already there. The clip features a creator named Bilbo heading into a forest in Massachusetts to test out the depth of field on his new camera. The scene started off calm, with nothing but birds and quiet surroundings, until a strange noise came from the bushes. It didn't sound like anything familiar, but it was clearly something. He kept filming, and whatever he captured next made the whole situation take a turn. There's an odd, hairy shape moving between the trees, and naturally, the internet jumps straight to calling it Bigfoot, because apparently that's the only creature allowed to be fuzzy and unclear on camera. More realistically, it's probably an animal caught at a weird angle, bad lighting, or just the camera struggling with focus and depth. Forests are full of things that look strange when partially hidden or moving through shadows. What do you think? Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can stay updated with our latest videos.